of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess.
Right guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be taking you through weigh-ins, what I'm going to be eating today, and going into my meet tomorrow. So first off, it's 9:25 right now. I woke up at about 8:30. Weighed myself. Basically yesterday I had like 1,000 calories. Cut off my food at 6 p.m. Didn't drink anything. I'm not necessarily trying to make 82.5, and I'm probably not going to be there. I woke up at like 185 though, and then I did 30 minutes of cardio. It took a little bit of caffeine, so I'm going to be able to, you know, lose some water weight and some whatnot from that. Couldn't really poop this morning though, because like when I'm dehydrated and you don't eat much, it's just, you know, you don't really you know, go number 2, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna weigh in where I weigh in at. Not really concerned about hitting 82.5 anyways, because I want to take the 90 kilo state deadlift record, which is 666 pounds, and with what I'm planning on doing tomorrow, I should have that pretty well. Yeah, I did that. I did 30 minutes of cardio. Got a good sweat on, and now I'm just driving up to Salt Lake City to the venue. It kind of sucks because it's like a 40-minute drive there and a 40-minute drive back, so overall it's going to be like a 2-hour-long process to get weighed in and do equipment checks and do rack heights and whatnot, but it's just how things go. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money to have to, you know, to be able to compete in powerlifting. So yeah, I'm really thirsty and really hungry right now. But, you know that after weigh-ins, I'll be able to drink some water and then come home and refeed, since I didn't eat that much yesterday, and my maintenance calories, so just because I'm pretty active. Depending upon how many steps I get, it's anywhere between 4,000 to 4,400. Yesterday I was extremely active, so I didn't eat much, so I was basically like a 3,000 calorie deficit yesterday, which sucks as much as it sounds. So I'm probably just going to refeed a little bit today, have an extra 500 to 1,000 calories depending upon how I feel. Focus on loading up on those electrolytes and sodium, water too, and then eat a lot today. So yeah, I will show you guys weigh-ins. So I parked on the exact opposite end of the massive convention center, and like I found Trevor. Trevor, say hi.
What's up, guys?
This is like the whole hall for FitCon. So yeah, I am so fucking hungry and thirsty. So as soon as I weigh in, I'm gonna drink a shit ton of water and then go home and eat everything. Dude, Trevor, I had 1,000 calories yesterday.
1,000?
Yes, that's why I'm starving. So let's go on this way. Okay, so I weighed in at 83.5 kg, which is 183.7 pounds. I wasn't going to I was actually intentionally didn't want to cut all the way down to 82.5 because I actually will be able to take the 90 kilo record for the state on my second attempt. So I was like, nah. So anyways, it's been a long ass morning. Like it's 11:45. I woke up at 8:30 and it's been a fucking long day. I am starving. I drank some water, had some salt. Now I'm just super hangry because I haven't ate anything in literally like 18 hours. So I want to eat food. Thing is that, again, like I said, like it's just a fucking hour and a half drive to Salt Lake, there and back for me. It took me a while to, you know, find the weigh-in spot, etc., get the weigh-in process, equipment checks, just how these things go. And just because it's a long commute, you know, it just took me a long time to get through everything. So right now I'm driving home. I'm going to eat, and I'm going to enjoy the ever-living hell out of my food because I am so hungry. So this is a major key, is getting water, like at least one of these things before you go to a meet, so that you're not dehydrated. Number one thing that you want to have is a lot of electrolytes and water for your meat, and so that you don't like gas out too fast from being too tired from that. I also have like some rice cakes and some fruit. I'm bringing protein bars, just like pretty easy snacks. So that's really all that I'm gonna be bringing for my meet. Like, don't change anything close to having the same pre-workout, the same water, same hydration protocols, you know, I would normally have. So that's all that is kind of just, yeah, not much else is different.
Just items.
Right, so it's the night before, it's like 10 o'clock. I want to give you guys just a little like an update on like how I'm feeling, kind of just final thoughts going into tomorrow. So first off, I still have to eat. I'm just eating basically like around like 500 calories more than I normally would, because like yesterday I didn't really eat anything. So I'm still a little bit depleted from that, and I just want to make sure that, you know, I have a decent surplus just going into tomorrow, so I feel good. And like, it's, you know, with how much I underate yesterday, like it's not gonna result in any like net fat gain or whatnot. It was like long term, it's basically like weekly averages is what you kind of have to think about in terms of like what actually happens to your body over time. Since body composition change does take time, but I suppose that's kind of besides the point. I'm feeling really confident. I am totally okay with whatever happens tomorrow. I have high expectations for myself. Every single number I have in mind, I feel like it's very realistic. It's something that I can do. Right now it is just about, you know, letting my body do its thing, coming in tomorrow, taking what's there. And yeah, I mean, like, I think we all get anxious before a big lift, and something that I always do is I remind myself that this is a good thing. Like, this is how I'm supposed to feel before a big lift. I should feel excited, anxious, nervous, all this stuff, and I kind of try to channel that into being a positive thing instead of like a negative thing and trying to avoid it, since I think that sometimes people try to avoid it when they should probably more so leverage that towards performance. So like what I do is I just I try to reframe it and basically say like, this is going to help me lift more. And also like right now, just kind of just like visualizing like how I want the day to go, how the weights are going to feel, you know, how I'm going to, you know, go through, like how I'm going to respond to, you know, XYZ scenario. But yeah, usually like as soon as I get under the bar and like squats and get my first attempt out of the way, I'm like smooth sailing for the rest of the meet. So yeah, I think it's really everything. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, I think. Oh yeah, and by the way, just like in terms of like what I been eating today, like I didn't really show you guys, but like it's just been like more so like the same boring foods I've had. It's like lots of like rice cakes, potatoes, egg whites, protein bars, protein shakes. You know, I've had lots of potassium and salt today, since I was really dehydrated yesterday. I'm still moving around too, to just make sure I'm getting that those nutrients are all partitioned to where I want them to go. But yeah, anyways, I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Guys, so I actually just got home from my meet. I left at like 8:30 this morning, and it's 8:30 p.m. It's been a pretty long day, but I want to get this out of the way because it's fresh in my mind. I'm kind of just excited to share with you guys how the day went. So, just first off, just really happy with how everything went today. Executed, the best of my ability. Kind of just wanted to walk through things. So, first off, squats, I was in flight beat. So squats didn't start until about, for me, until about 10:45-ish. And I normally don't wake up until around like 11-ish. So a little bit different. But, squats actually felt pretty good today. Going over things.
457 pounds.
This is, like you said, 457. The squat bar was actually really, really nice, really new. It was like a little bit different bar. It was like a newer version of the Texas squat bar. But overall, this felt like how I expected an opener to feel. The 457, nail depth, very smooth, consistent. Felt good, but I kind of just like openers are just to get yourself on the board. I really knew that 485, which is my second attempt, would tell me basically what I had on the day. And I was shooting for anywhere between essentially 496 to 507, depending upon the day. But I put this out on, walked it out, felt good, took my air, braced, and it felt, honestly, a little bit heavier than I wanted it to. So I went with the safe call. And on my third attempt, I chose 496, which was the smart call. I think at the top end today, I had 501. But my whole strategy with meet day is essentially if I am going to pick a number, I want to choose something that has a little bit of room because I would rather be like 5 pounds underneath. What I can do is allow some room for misgrooves. It's a little more confidence too going into the attempt. Something I am wondering is, maybe if I didn't hit 501 in prep, if I just stopped at 485, would I have 501? That's something to consider, especially considering how deadlift peak, which you guys will see. That's something that I'm just learned, going forward. Just don't blow your load in training. And potentially I would have had a little bit more today. But overall, very happy with how this went. Squats have made tremendous progress in the past year, with really just minimal body weight gain, maybe 10 pounds at most. I weighed at 183 for this meet, so really it's like a 6 pound difference between, my meets. But took my air in, felt good, got all whites, perfect depth, signature Adam Peeler grind. That base at the end is I kind of grayed out towards the top. It was pretty hard. I just don't like how squats feel, especially heavy squats. It's really difficult for me to hit depth. It requires a lot of back extension because I don't squat low bar. It's kind of like a medium high bar thing. But overall, things went well on that. I'm happy with that call. Obviously, I wanted to call 501 to say I have 501, but I put my ego to the side, took what I knew that I had, and walked away 3 for 3 with all white lights. Now on to bench press. So this is kind of interesting, a little bit of backstory. So going into this, I got really, really tired, and I started having really weird cramps. When I was warming up on bench, my left hamstring here cramped up like the absolute worst it had in my entire life, literally for 2 minutes. And I had to cut weight the day before. I thought I had recomped pretty well with electrolytes and sodium and potassium and water and carbs and all that stuff, but still I was having some issues, so I had to basically down 3 grams of salt and like half a gallon of water. And then it kind of started calming down. I actually did all my warm-ups Larson press because I don't want to mess with my, there's Larson press with just feet off the bench. I don't want to mess with it just because, I was just, it was just still kind of painful. And I felt a little bit weak, and I was cramping in my upper body too. And just going into just the context of this meet, this is powerlifting excuses, but I tweaked my pec. and I had to cut down bench frequency to 2 times a week and lower down my volume. So I was only expecting to maintain or have a very slight decrease in strength. That's kind of what we saw here. So, but first attempt moved kind of just how I was expecting it. My bench press always just looks very, very fast until it's not. So, you know, really fast, quick, easy opener, like it normally does in the gym. So I was like, okay, I probably have 330 today, 336. Took the second attempt, and it just felt a little bit stickier than I wanted to. And my sticking points, like somebody looking at that would have been like, that's like an RPE 8. But like, it just is how I'm built. People with really long arms, it just dies like at that mid range. And I just knew how I was feeling off of that day. Like, you know, I wanted 336, but I took what I knew I could get. I'm really happy that I chose the 330 instead of 336, just because I don't think I would have gotten it. Especially because you can see my sticking point right there. I might have been able to grind it out, but it's kind of like too 50-50 for my liking. So took that. On bench press, honestly, like, so it's not a bad bench press. Like 330 to 336 when you're weighting, you know, 185 pounds is still like 1.75 times body weight. Like, that's not a terrible bench press, but in order for me to like be really competitive, my bench needs to catch up to that 2 times body weight range. And the only way that's really going to happen is with how tall I am and whatnot. I can't stay in the 180s anymore. I need more muscle mass, and you know, I'm just going to keep slowly gaining weight. My goal is actually after this meet, like, I really want to get up to, you know, mid 190s and just never be below 190 again. Going forward, I'm already so lean. You know, I have room to grow for sure. But yeah, like bench press, in order for it to get better, I think like and also like I'll be able to tolerate like higher training volumes, just because like being lean on you're a little bit less resilient to injury. It's not like I'm going to get fat, but like, you know, allowing myself to gain weight, gain that more muscle, become more resilient to that injury is really just going to benefit me a lot in the long term. So that's kind of my long term plan going forward with bench press, going back to 3 times a week benching too, and it just get bigger. Now deadlifts peaked perfectly. I got really tired again before this, so I had like a pretty big meal. Eating on meat day is always really weird because you're eating like protein bars and like rice cakes and like pretzels and like fruit and like kind of just like really weird snack foods all day. So like I had like a decently big-ish meal before this because I was going a little bit hypoglycemic. I got really tired. Took some extra salt too. I was starting to cramp up again. Like I was just cramping. Had more salt, more water, some more potassium too. I had like potassium salt on me too. You want to have potassium for sodium. It's important. I have a video on that you guys can watch. But deadlift peaked absolutely perfectly. And what I did for my taper was I literally didn't deadlift heavy for 2 weeks. And this is 633. Moved literally how 551 moves. Like, and I knew from the moment I did that something big was going to be there. This is 672. And again, just flew. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better deadlift peak. My technique here, really good, dialed in. Didn't even think about anything. Just when my back feels good, I can deadlift whatever I want. And I normally train with a pretty high amount of axial fatigue. So yeah, like this is 700, and this was special. This was really, really, really special. I've been training really hard for this. This has been a big goal of mine for a long, long time. But I knew from the moment that I started it that I had it. Locked it out really strong. Held it for a little bit extra long. I knew I was going to get all 3 whites. Super happy. This is another view of it, but like I started bawling after. It's just to think of coming from being anorexic and 135 pounds 4 years ago to now being able to, deadlift this, be like mid 180s, and just, it's a really special thing. I love this sport, and I'm just really proud of myself for doing the damn thing. How to end up with a 1,526 pound total, or a 692.5 pound kilo total, 496 dots, And I'm just excited to keep going. Plans to, you know, grow, do some more hypertrophy, back off a little bit from the really high specificity training of you know, powerlifting, just grow. So thank you guys so much for the support, and that's the meet recap.